Hello babes, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video I wanted to discuss Rory Gilmore, a quintessential mean girl cloaked in the guise of innocence, and how her soft features, baby face, and sweet voice masked her superiority complex that often cuts other people down who she deemed wasn't like her. So let's get into it. Welcome to Iconically Iconic. Now, before I start this video, I need to address the question that some people who are new to this channel or new to YouTube seem to ask, and that is when videos freeze. When videos have freeze frame, it's for content creators to protect their videos from copyright. If you would like to see the shows of the characters I do breakdowns on, they're available on all streaming platforms for you to watch. Another thing I'd also like to address is some of the rabid obsession some people have with fictional characters and turn into raging lunatics because they like said character and have an issue with a character breakdown. I am not obligated to like the characters you like. Opinions are always welcomed, but disrespect is not. And if you can't keep your emotions in check over fictional characters, then you need to be sitting down with a therapist and doing work on yourself instead of click-clacking your unhinged fingers on YouTube. Go be happy and work on that darkness in you. Now let's get into it.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks, you too. And by the way, bloaty is not a word. There's bloated, there's bloating, but no bloated.
Thanks, it's fascinating.
Well, for you, how ice is made is probably fascinating. See ya.
Rory, a character most viewers fell in love with in season 1, is often talked about when it comes to her entitlement and how much of a spoiled brat she was in later seasons. But hardly anyone mentions how she was a mean girl and a pick-me, which I'm assuming is because she isn't a girly girl who people view with a narrow lens. Rory would often speak down on other women, in particular women who didn't act like her or have the same views as her, like her calling them stupid or sluts, because that was how she viewed hyper feminine women or girls who liked doing girl things, which is what we see when she speaks about Shane, who is Jess's girlfriend, an innocent bystander in Jess's manipulative attempt to make Rory jealous, who has a boyfriend by the way, calling her out of her name, constantly talking about her to Lane and her mother because she believes she is of higher moral ground and overall better than Shane because she was deemed Stars Hollow's golden girl. Going on a full tangent about Shane, and I get that she's young, but it's learned behavior. Her mother would act the same exact way towards other women who she saw as a threat, and instead of being an adult, she would join in on bashing Shane, a teenager, and other girls because her little precious Rory is all that matters, and she didn't care if that was someone else's daughter. A pick-me who raised a pick-me.
Girl's a freak.
When she and Lane go shopping for hair dye, she realizes that Shane works at the store and is rudely staring in her face. Now, I don't know if it's just the New Yorker in me, but you have about 3 seconds to stare in my face before I say something. Just staring at someone without speaking is beyond rude, and it's sometimes a form of intimidation and something that will definitely get you cursed out here in New York. Rory is rude and obnoxious towards Shane because she can't possibly fathom how a guy could entertain someone she views as a harlot. Rory's distaste for Shane in that store was fueled not by Shane's lack of customer service skills, but by her jealousy. Rory had a boyfriend, but yet couldn't stop obsessing over Jess's love life.
You've been into him since he got to town, and I spent weeks, months actually, trying to convince myself that it wasn't true, that everything was fine between us. But now I know that I was an idiot. You're into him, and he's into you, and Shane, who, by the way, should be listening to this because it's so damn obvious.
What's obvious? What did I do?
Everyone can see, Rory. Everyone. And I'm tired, but I'm over it.
So, me coming back here and just seeing you with Shane just kind of threw me for a sec.
I'm sorry, did I hear from you at all this summer? Did I just happen to miss the thousands of phone calls you made to me, or did the postman happen to lose all those letters you wrote to me? You kiss me. You tell me not to say anything. Very flattering, by the way. You go off to Washington, then nothing. Then you come back here all put out because I didn't just sit around and wait for you like Dean would have done? And yeah, what about Dean? Are you still with him? Because last time I checked, you were. And I haven't heard anything to the contrary. Plus the two of you walking around the other day like some damn Andy Hardy movie. Seemed to me like you're still pretty together.
She somehow wants to prove that if she wanted the guy, she could have them, even if it meant losing her integrity. Her frustrations and vitriol is always taken out on women when she wants to be the object of affection for the man she likes or wants. Anytime she is confronted, she is always passive aggressive or acts oblivious that she, little Miss Angel Baby, could never be mean or hurt the feelings of others because she wants to indulge in mean girl tendencies but ensure that her reputation as a nice girl is untarnished. And this pattern repeats itself with Lindsay. Her jealousy was already apparent on the day of Dean's wedding, but when Dean tells her he'll be dropping out of school, something Rory would do a year later, but you know Rory rules for thee and not for me, Gilmore goes on to tell him how much of a mistake he's making.
Lindsay's got her heart set on having a townhouse by the end of the year, and we're kind of cramped where we are, so I think it's a good idea.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't.
What?
Well, I think it's a horrible idea.
It's just temporary.
Maybe.
Rory.
Well, a lot of people who drop out say that it's just temporary. It usually doesn't work out that way.
I'm gonna go back.
I hope so.
Have some faith, will you?
I just think this is a mistake.
Rory, I'm married. Remember, I have responsibilities.
You'll lose your momentum.
I need the money.
Can't the townhouse wait?
Jeez, lighten up.
I just think this is a really bad idea.
Graduating from college doesn't guarantee you a job anymore. It's not like it was with our parents.
So you're not going back.
You're twisting my words.
And you're just gonna work in construction.
What, are you gonna get all elitist on me now?
We're friends, so I get to tell you what I think.
Fine.
You should go to school.
Great, now you've told me 3 times. I get it.
She later meets up with Lane and Dozies, just bad-mouthing Lindsay, acting as if Lindsay did something to her personally, speaking on a marriage that was none of her concern, painting Lindsay as a villain who somehow trapped Dean.
I'm mad at Dean about doing this, but I'm more mad at Lindsay. She's so selfish.
Women.
She's his wife. She should be encouraging him to go to school and think about his future, but no, she needs a townhouse and a Rolls Royce.
They're buying a Rolls Royce?
No, but they are the townhouse. And he didn't even seem that excited about it. It's just Lindsay. I mean, why doesn't she get a job? What does she do all day?
And when she sees Lindsay, instead of apologizing, she freezes like a deer in headlights because her nice girl mask has dropped. Lindsay was never rude to Rory or gave her a reason to be so nasty, but because Dean was with Lindsay and made a decision that involved his wife, she felt the need to badmouth her because in Rory's mind, the woman is always the evil villain who persuades a guy to do something that he doesn't want to do, as if he has no free will. And she takes pleasure in belittling and talking down to women and girls she views as stupid because it charges her ego battery. And listen, as a millennial, I know there were plenty of girls who thought with this corny, not like other girls thinking, but most of the time they were laughed off. But I also think it depends on where you grew up and who you were surrounded by. Rory's behavior extended far beyond romantic rivalries, bringing us to when she harshly critiqued a ballet dancer's body in her article, using a platform to tear down another woman for absolutely no justifiable reason. She didn't critique her performance or how she could improve in any way, but instead she spoke about her body and costume. Then, when she is confronted, she plays coy and innocent as if she doesn't know why this girl could possibly be upset and how that could have affected her.
Called me a hippo! No, I compared you to a hippo. That's not calling you a hippo, and it was a humorous comparison. I was trying to
destroy me and my company.
No, and think about it. I bet that more than likely very few people will even read the review, and most people aren't even interested in ballet in the first place. It's unfortunate and awful, and I hate it, but what can you do? It's Avril Lavigne's world, and we're just living in it. Plus, most people left before the end, and I stuck it out. That's something.
I'm curious. How much ballet experience do you have? You must have a lot since you write about it with such authority.
Well, none to speak of. I had a few years of beginner's class, and I stunk.
Anybody write about it in the paper?
No, good point.
I've been dancing 3 hours a day, 7 days a week for 14 years. I've done 2 summer sessions with the Miami Ballet, and I'm on the waiting list at Juilliard. And now your review is out there for everyone to see.
Look,
You're a jerk. I just wanted to come tell you that to your face.
And this is why I respected Paris. She may not have been my favorite character, but she was unapologetically abrasive. She never pretended to be one way in your face and another way behind your back. Unlike Rory, who hid her mean girl shriek behind a facade of sweetness and playing coy whenever she was confronted with her behavior. She demeaned that girl in that article and then went to get sympathy from her family who believes Rory could do no wrong. But when it's Rory who was on the receiving end, then everyone is wrong and the bad guy. She actually sat there and pouted about something that she did, which is the same thing she did when she went to that party with Logan. She sneers at the rich, blissfully ignoring that she too is a child of immense privilege. And when Logan rightfully clocked her and called her out on her hypocritical take, she pretends as if she doesn't see the issue with it because she doesn't partake in the stereotypical rich kid activities, but she had just as much privilege. How many people have grandparents with the connections, wealth, and access that the Gilmores had? Not many.
The title of your article is Let Them Drink Cosmos. I was joking around with my girlfriend. I wasn't comparing a whole class of people to Marie Antoinette.
I'm so sorry. I really didn't think that this would upset you.
You didn't think it would upset me?
No, I was just writing. I mean, I was worked up. I was mad at my mom. Maybe that kind of got into the piece somehow. But no, this was meant to be funny. I didn't think you would take it personally. I mean, you're totally different from these people.
No, I'm not. You know what? I don't want to be.
Logan.
What? I'm a rich trust fund kid. I'm not ashamed of it.
No, and you shouldn't be. That's not what I meant. I mean, my point, or the point I was trying to make, was that people use connections to get ahead.
Oh, give me a break. You act like making connections is something nefarious. It's not. It's just people meeting people.
Well, it's certain people meeting certain people. It's not like anyone's meeting Joe Bus Driver.
And you're Joe Bus Driver.
Well, no.
Exactly. I mean, where do you get off acting all morally superior?
That is not what I intended to say at all.
You clearly think you are. Why? Because you read Ironweed? Because you saw Norma Ray?
Okay.
Wake up, Rory, whether you like it or not. You're one of us. You went to prep school. You go to Yale. Your grandparents are building a whole damn astronomy building in your name.
That is different, okay? It's not like I live off a $5 million trust fund my parents set up for me.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly paying rent either.
It's like she wanted her mother's story to be hers. And quite frankly, it was a choice of her mother's as well. Again, that isn't an option for most people. And this was partially the fault of her grandparents and mother, who always made her feel superior, and she clings to the illusion that she was somehow different from the crowd she critiqued. She stopped speaking to Lane when she found out that Lane had become a cheerleader, as if that affected her in any kind of way. She was in a completely different school and spent more time with Dean than she did with Lane anyways, so I didn't understand why she was so pressed. Also, I don't understand people who get upset when their friends want to try out different things or groups. If it's not harmful, then it shouldn't bother you. I get that they were young, but even as a young girl, I didn't feel the need to give my friends the silent treatment or speak down to them because they wanted to do something different. That's not a real friendship. That's a person trying to control you and someone who is manipulative. And it starts from young. It's why you have grown adult women and men in the workplace who feel entitled to things or even people and believe the world revolves around them. People think it's cute when they're younger, but when that person gets older, the rest of the world has to deal with the monster you created. Rory was only nice to those who weren't on her level, and she viewed herself as pure and clean and deemed the other girls as unclean who weren't like her. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next one.